Hello, one moment, guys. We'll get on in a minute. Um, just setting everything up like normal. What happened to my thing? My thing can no longer thing. Oh no, Chi, my thing can no longer thing. Took the surgeon. What are you looking at? It's the controller. Why are you looking so weird at the controller? Why are you stalking the controller? You're a weird cat. Almost weird is your niece who licks plastic for unknown reasons. Listen, sir, don't climb on the controllers. You start pressing things and, I don't know, buy whatever's in the store. This. This. How's this? Oh. I'm messing around in Dream. And people on my Facebook are liking it. What? Oh, wait. What just happened here? What am I doing? Oh, yeah, that should be good enough. Okay. We'll get going, guys. Welcome back to Fortnite during Spooktober with my reading of my horror series. Hello. Today we're going to be running only as our werewolf. And for that is the perfect time for a self-plug. My advertiser is myself. I spend all my money on anything I'm doing as far as streaming goes. I got no advertisers, no sponsors. So for that, I'm my own sponsor. I have a book out. It is a 100,000 word book, which means it's a low epic range. I think some Harry Potter novels were around that range when they were the earlier ones. And so it's a fairly long story. It is a werewolf-centric story. It is a dark fantasy and urban fantasy. It is written in a young adult-like style, but with a slightly mature edge to it, more mature edge to it than you get in some young adults. Um, so while you get young adult-like writing, where it's more action and talking than it is descriptive some of the times, so I try to edge in there the good descriptors. Um, it'll edge into the violence and the sexualness that we go into things they don't normally call young adult, even though I'm pretty sure as a young adult that's when we're most obsessed with that. So whatever. I consider a young adult 18 to 20. Sorry, I'm setting up my getting my thing. Where in the heck did my Kindle go? There it is. Kindle app. I don't have a Kindle too. We are on Tall Trees today. And I think Tall Trees doesn't have a break spot, so we're going to have to break it ourselves because it's a very long story. Now, we're going to go in here into this and quiet this loud ass song for this one maybe? What's this one? Oh, that one's going to be quiet because it's third party. Yeah. Um, So Tall Trees, I wrote. I don't remember if I wrote it for a short collection or a magazine. I think I may have just wrote it as I was inspired. As a writer, sometimes you'll get an idea, and your idea will be extremely strong, and you just have to start writing it. It's part of your calling, part of your nature as a writer, and that's what happened with this one. It came to me, and I was like, I have to write it. And I may have thought about writing it for a book at the time, because at the time I wrote Tall Trees, I was trying to get my shorts out to places. And when most of my shorts didn't make it to places, and when they did make it to places, it sometimes fell through. Yeah, one moment. Okay, I'm back. Um, so, where was I? Oh, anyway, so it never went out. Whatever I was doing for it, it never came to anything, and it became one of the first call. I think one of the first calls to me making this series. I was kind of like, I'm going nowhere. I'm going to make the Dead End series. The whole idea of the Dead Ends was my work wasn't going anywhere. I am a writer, and I'm at a dead end, and that was the whole reason of me calling it Dead Ends. They were dark, sometimes depressing horrors, and they were from my writing career, which wasn't going anywhere, which I hope picks up. One can hope, Hunchy. Um, Tall Trees itself was based around the idea of creepypasta. At the time I had written it, it was towards the end of the creepypasta era. Like the creepypasta isn't dead. By the time I wrote Tall Trees, it was not as high ranked as it was. Like for a while there, Tall Trees in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s actually, early 2008 maybe, I don't remember, was fairly big. It started off with Slenderman creepypasta and just left from there. And there was dozens of creepypastas and people posting about horror fantasy based on some fan fiction stuff like Been Drowned, and all of it was really good. I was a big fan of the creepypasta. It helped bring back horror as much as FNAF did, and I loved it. So as creepypasta started to, I'm gonna turn my fan a little. I can feel it blowing on my face. It might be blowing in here. So creepypasta, um, when finally, uh, when as it was dying off, I went, I should just do an ode to it or something. And I had this idea for a story. It came to me, and I wrote it. It's one of the two shorts I wrote that are kind of dedicated to creepypasta. And that's as much I'm going to tell you before we get into it. So we're going to start here today with Tall Trees, and then we'll read a few paragraphs until I get to a section I feel like is a good cut. Now, I will warn you, this is a I'm going to rate this story like PG-13. There's some situational things in it which are graphic as far as sexuality goes, but it's more like mentions than it is descriptors. And the violence in it is not too rough, so I would rate this a PG-13 like novel. But I am running an 18 plus channel, and I probably won't have to attach this story to 18 plus on YouTube, but I will when I get to my second Dead Ends because of some of the stories in there has some graphic sexual scenes. This one does not. Just some ideas, some mentions. But I had to throw out a caution: don't watch this. Don't really listen to this if you're like too young. Are you too young, G? I don't think you're 13. I think you're like not even 10. Why you sniff my face? You weird. Tall Trees. Corey was in it, and Corey was in for it. Who knew he was in the biggest trouble of his life, especially if he couldn't find his little brother. The sun was setting. The orange light spread shadows upon the thick-wooded world, which was causing him angst. There was no telling what Ethan was getting himself into now he was lost trail of him. His brother had never been one to get into too much before, and though the town of West Creek, at the base of this large wooden hill he was upon, had its share of problems, its legends of magic, of mysterious weather, and of serial criminals, compared to San Antonio, to the south of this aspirant city, was a peace-filled community with almost no crime. The creatures out here weren't too dangerous either. The odd coyote was the biggest threat. The skunk was next on the list, and those threats were rare since animals here were shy and avoided humans. No, the trouble he feared Ethan might find himself in were caused by his young teen body riddled with adolescent hormones. Curse the deity that cursed underage children with sexual urges. As of late, he caught his brother with items Corey never imagined him ever looking at. Pornographic DVDs and magazines, pictures from his other friends that could have landed him in big legal trouble if released, and a flashlight. Where the hell would he get something that expensive and sold to only the mature? Or should question be who was giving him this stuff, egging on his desires? Probably the same hussy he was with tonight. Maybe his tastes were for older women, old enough to buy him things from a sex shop, and his curious set of friends took what they could get their hands on. Well, I'm sorry, or his curious set of friends took what they could get their hands on. Sorry. Either way, this was the end. This was the end. If he hiked out here and found his brother in the throes of lust, he'd drag him home, expose everything to their dad, and there would be hell. Until now, he had protected his little brother from their father, whose military upbringing had made him a harsh and cruel man. The two of them, with no mother to carry the weight as the other parent, often forced Corey act that part for a bro. But he had failed him, enough for this to happen, and it hurt to know that he couldn't do more for him. The sun sunk below the horizon, and the tall trees that gave the forest its name, a species of ponderosa tree that was too southeast of its usual habitat, had their thin forms stretched out into thick shadows. Corey thumbed an emergency lamp in his right hand, but the electric bulb only shifted the darkness out of his way as it thickened to the side. With dusk falling, it was a single blade of sight captured in the ink of the woods. God damn it, he muttered. Ethan, he called for his brother. It's late. It's dark. If you come out now, I won't tell Dad. He waited, listening. For the next 3 minutes he heard nothing. Not animal, or wind, or humans running in the bush. There was the sound of brush and dirt being moved aside from behind him, and he spun. There was nobody stalking him. The quad of strange trees, thinner than the rest, were the only thing he thought looked out of place. He scanned up the pale trunks, but none of them were low enough to allow his light to pierce the top of the green needlepoint foliage. Finding his brother and friends had scaled trees on their way out here, he decided there wasn't much point at pondering the trees for too long. Corey shook. Actually, should we stop there? Yeah, we should stop there. Okay, we're going to stop there right now. Oh no, what have I done? Okay, we're still there. That's going to be our break. Okay, so let's get in and play a little. Now, if I'm correct, yeah, we still don't have any like storyline missions. Bites was the storyline missions, I guess. I don't know. Just as Bites Dark mission continues. So with that, we're going to work on weeklies and dailies, and then every time we die or win, we will continue the stories. As usual, I won't end the stream until the story we're in the middle of is finished. We'll go about 3 or 3+ hours here as usual, even though I don't have a lot to do. If we run out of missions, we'll work on milestones and just play to win. Marksman rifle. Jellyfish, shieldfish, or slurpfish on your fish. Land at Driftwood. This is the reality tree and held things done in a single match. Okay, let's do land at Driftwood. And we are, again, going to be running as werewolf in commemoration to the release of my novel. If you want to look at my novel, it's called Bite of the Moon. Look at it, read it. It does have a 10% free sampling, so you can go in and read 10% of it. In most cases, that gives you a whole chapter. I don't know about Smashwords, but in Amazon, I think in Barnes & Nobles, they give you a whole chapter to read, which is quite a lot of pages. My chapters are long. You get a whole free ass chapter there. Which doesn't include Jason's transformation or anything, but you gotta read longer to do that. So go in there, read the sample. If you like it, buy the book. You can find it in Kindle and Nook, and actually, you can find it Kindle, Nook, all the regular stores, and let me see if it's finally released in Google Play. No, get into the books. Where are my books? Huh, I'm still not seeing it in Google Play, so I'll have to go in to my thing later tonight and figure out what's going on. So I do like that when I look up I was doing Joshua Winters, one of the top ones is Stephen King's fairy tale. Yes, please put me beside Stephen King. I love that. Format, ebook. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Weird. So it's supposed to be out on Google by now, but I don't see it, so I'll have to go look and figure out what it is going on. But you can find it in Kindle, you can find it in Nook. If you don't want to buy it through Kindle and Nook, because I know the Kindle and Nook apps don't work on the freaking don't work correctly. You are going to, if you're using a Samsung, you're going to go out of your way right now. It's not showing up on Google Play Books for some reason. So the three places you can do is if you have a Kindle or Nook app, you can go to their website and buy it from them. Or you can go to Smashwords.com's website, buy it from them, and then download it in any form you want. I know some people prefer to read on PDFs in the phone, especially if they're just downloading whatever file they want, because it's an easy PDF form to use. It's up to you. I don't know if all the TOC links, table content links, work on it. Let's go ahead and do this. But yeah, we are running the entire stream as a werewolf this time. Next time we'll run as either as randoms or not randoms, full locker loadout or as random horror selection. Today it's just werewolf. He is white, and there's a reason for that. It is because of the book. So read the book. Read the book, G. Read the book, G. G is looking at me like I'm a cat. I don't read. Excuse me. With the big ass claw. Never even noticed, paid attention to the fact he has a dew claw. I still want them to release a running on all four legs emote. Okay, so first off, we gotta hit this. Driftwood change position? I feel like it changed position. Oh, that's still there. Maybe it didn't. I feel like it was across the water last time, but maybe I'm crazy. I may be right. I may be crazy. Cause I'm still trying my best to live my dream. I couldn't figure out a glider to put him on, so I just gave him the rock, like it's a piece of the moon. Gives him an excuse to be in werewolf form at all times. So tall trees. What you heard me read was the first little section of tall trees. The idea of a lost forest has always intrigued me. If you live near one, you know what they are. We have Los Maples here, near San Antonio. Oh, I forgot to attach this new thing on them. Los Maples is a what's part 2 of that? Like bars in a single match? Okay. Anyway, Los Maples is a how do you say? Actually, can we hire him? Are you hireable? Blackheart, what do you got? Anyway, Los Maples is a forest near San Antonio, and it's basically like maple trees in a wrong area. It doesn't belong down here in this area of Texas or Texas at all. So it's called the Lost Maple Forest, or the Lost Maple Forest. And so my idea was, like, so West Creek is sort of a play of cities I'm used to. I did not mean to drop that. And one of the cities is, of course, San Antonio. So the idea was, like we have Los Maples, we'll have West Creek will have the Los Ponderosa forests they call tall trees. Like, where the hell? Nine of 100. I think we're going to come back in and do this one. Oh, that's the freaking... that's on here. Yeah, I thought so. That's the freaking... is it in here anymore? Where the hell is it? Like, I can hear them. How do you get down there now? Oh, there it is. I have no keys. Anyway, so the idea came to, if you read Slenderman's, I base it around sort of the Slenderman idea because he's mentioned in it as a part of a fandom point. The idea of Slenderman is, I don't know if you're familiar with him, if you enter an area illegally that is controlled by him, or trespass, and it's usually in a wooded forest area of some kind, he's the one that comes after you to get you. That's how you become his victim. Let's get out here. And head towards the chest on the outside of this. So that'll come back into play later, but the idea was to base it around him. Not have it be him, but have the idea of him. Who's firing at who? Oh, we were fighting with the same weapon, but his is stronger. Doesn't always mean better, apparently. Yeah, I did see a shield somewhere around here. Damn. Oh, that's the only bad thing about that. The load friggin' time from it. Yeah, stop showing your stuff off, Marshmallow. That means we get to read some more. Okay, so we'll go from here and do a few more paragraphs. Corey shook his head, focusing his concentration. He started further into the woods, into the darkness. As he moved, the forest thickened around him, making direction a hard thing to keep track of. Ethan! He called out again. This time something with wings took flight from his disturbance, causing him to crouch in reaction. A distant hoot announced it was only an owl. Sorry, I got hair in my mouth. Find my own mustache hair. He remained crouched, waiting and listening. Silence reigned the night. There was a grunt. He spun on his heel as he rose to the deep-voiced human sound, spotting nothing odder than a single one of those extra-thin trees. The tree was slim, thinner than his arm. He was not meaty in any sense of the word. But like the thicker ones around it, it was tall. Studying his pale bark, he spotted a second in equal distance from it that the original four had kept. They were odd, but not anything he cared about for now. Turning back, Corey called his brother's name again. After a short search through the thickening foliage, Corey reached a clearing. Before it, hung into the low branch of a bush full of red berries, was a short navy blue skirt. By its size, Corey determined it must have belonged to a middle school student, one of Ethan's classmates, no doubt, torn by the stick it dangled from. He let his light gaze its burning eye across the open field. Beyond it lay another thicket of pine and brush. "I have your skirt," he shouted, picking up the discarded piece of clothing. "Unless you want to go home exposed, come on now. I'm taking it with me." He waited. There was nothing. No sound, no movement, no breath. In the middle of the patch of nothing there were those trees again, endlessly tall, as thin as bone, knobby and wooden, four in a set, spaced at equal intervals, two in a pair, a foot from each other, a couple of pair 3 or 4 feet apart from the other two. He tried to gaze up through the darkness, but his lamp gazed into broken-looking brown foliage without piercing it. Maybe one day, when he didn't fear for his brother or himself, he'd come out during the day and have a look at these things. He marched uphill towards them, the beam of his light playing across the healthy green ground until it fell upon the blue and white ensemble resting in the dirt. Caked in what appeared to be mud, the rest of the girl's clothing lied in the middle of the trees, matching white button blouse with blue edging, a familiar school uniform, knee socks, black dress shoes, a pair of white panties, and push-up bra. Who sent to their middle school student a bra meant to make her look bigger? It was disturbing. I wonder kids these days are getting pregnant at 13. Corey threw the skirt under the rest of it, scooping them up and stuffing them under his arm. "You're in real trouble now if I leave," he shouted. "No clothes, you'll have to hoof it home nude." He listened. There was nothing. The wind was dead today, but that didn't stop a chill from crawling down his spine, sending goose flesh across his arms. "Listen, bro, be a man, come out. She doesn't have to show herself. You can take her stuff back to her, and I'll never know who she was. I'm here for you, only you." The silence was deafening. He thought if he listened too long, he'd go mad. Something shifted to his right, but he spied nothing on the ground. It was probably a small rodent coming down to see what the yelling was about. Corey left the odd set of trees behind and moved forward to the other side of the clearing. Before he went into the woods again, he glanced back. Lights of the circular city below were still visible at this distance, meaning it'd be easier to find his way back once he lost himself within the trees. The pine swallowed him again. Oh, actually, no, you don't stop there. I read too long, I get all stuttery. Back into here. We're gonna land far away from the bus this time and collect as much gold as possible. We're gonna be a gold-hungry wolf. We're gonna be part crab, a crab wolf, a wolf, a crow, wolf, a crab F, maybe a crab, wolf crab. You like the itchy on the neck there, Chi. Jerome likes the scritches. Oh, I keep forgetting. I got X2, by the way. She came out, or X, whatever her name is. And I meant to attach the claws to him because it'll look better than these stupid pink things on the end of my hands. I think. It'll just be like extra long claws. Actually, that kind of works with the werewolf better than it does the anime things, because he's turning his head sideways to keep it in. That doesn't work so well. No, I don't have that one yet. I'm kind of worried about the lack of missions going on, because honestly, it's going to be a pain in the butt to get everything from this battle pass. We'll go down here. Did I park my tree? I think I parked my tree somewhere. I was trying to throw it down, and then someone killed me as soon as I threw it down. I don't see it. So likeliness not. Didn't count. Oh, if I clipped through the top of that, I'd turn into crumble. But yeah, it'd be cool if they allowed for different running animations. Not that the running animations actually change any speed or anything, but it would look cool. And we could have like a four-legged running animation where we have our wolves and our other beasties running on all fours. Be choosable. I know that would be like, but wait, doesn't that change the box? It's like, you know what? It's called evolving the match. You may change the box to where you're crouched while running, but you're also putting your head out first. I don't know, make it extra noisy or something to make it more fair. Okay, there's nothing in there. Go ahead and do that. Honestly, I just had my hand at it. If it is a gold or, you know, if it's a blue or higher one of those, I'll grab them. Because they do kind of rock, and this one kind of sucks at green anyway. But, at least this one I can update. That was me. I got scared of my own feet. I had to land at the driftwood and do that? Oh, that is dumb. I can't build in this mode either. Break. I think I can hurt myself off the top of this one. I didn't realize I had to land on driftwood and do that mission. That's not cool. Oh. Actually, let's go get killed by whoever that is. Or, you know. We're just gonna ready up. We're not gonna count this to death and read from there. I wasn't aware you had to jump on driftwood every time and then go do the mission. That's gonna be long. That's what he's doing. I was wondering why he was hunting that wolf from far away. Now, as you noticed, I mentioned, you know, the lube subject, sex, and youth, and the point of that is, you know, just experience. If you think your kids aren't knowledgeable or knowing about that by middle school, you're foolish. They have access to the internet. and they are. And I didn't have access to the internet when I was in middle school like that, and I still was. We knew everything about it by the time we were like in 8th grade at the very least. So my idea was on personal experience and realism. You like to think your little kid's innocent until he's 18, and unless you live in the most podunk town, absolutely no general internet allowance whatsoever, they're gonna know. Then that's something that might even be practiced by then. I knew about it when I was in middle school. I held off on practicing it because I self-educated myself well enough on that subject till I was in high school. And, you know, as adults, especially my generation, you know that's true. I know a lot of people who are older from their teens in the 70s and 80s can imagine that didn't happen back then, but it happened for them too. They just like pretending they were better back then than we are now. They were less exposed to things like that, of course, because they didn't have the technology to expose them like that. You sell then? You sell like the Prime, right? Yeah, I'll take a Prime. I wish you'd sell the freaking ammo without selling the gun again. This is when they used to do that. I landed at Driftwood. What the hell? This is the Driftwood. I landed on it. I am here. Is this broken? You can tell me it wasn't actually Driftwood I landed on? Also, I noticed his balloons have been painted over black. Like, they're yellow underneath, but they're gotten black on them. Thank you. Missed a whole bunch of gold because of you. I shouldn't do that. Able to get an EXP. Ooh, might actually level up. Level up. So I'd like to hear if y'all would like to see, alright. Oh. If I would like to see, crap. A full loadout locker next time, or just a horror loadout? For Spooktoberfest? I don't think I'm on, I think I'm on the bottom floor, right? Oh no, I'm not. There's nothing down here but that. I don't have keys. So the best bet is just to go around and collect as much as I can from all the things. And I guess from people I might kill. I forgot this was like one of my favorite. Maybe I should attach this as a permanent member to my locker. In respect to Jason. 2 chests up there. I think we might actually have people over here. Yeah, some of those are not. Their fire shot at me. Oh, now I got bullets. How many bullets? Oh, frick. Come here, doggy doggy, you're mine. We'll lead her now. Ooh, take that. I'm at 27 now. Also, Alice in Wonderland reference. Doggo, get down from there. Stop screwing around in the house, boy. Get in here. $45 out of 100. We're halfway there. Yeah. A minute before we have to move. It's gonna need to hurt. Oh, no, it's not. Haha. 70 of 100. Now, if we can get another gas station, where are we? Hoping to be good on our mission. I think the next gas station might give us like 20 of these. Please give me enough. Ah, 7 my ass. Dog, you are not helping. Sorry, doggo. Come Come here. Person. Woo. Make it to this, and no one's taking it when they win. Hey, it didn't up my bars when I grabbed some bars from that person. Oh, this is not a good sign. No, someone's already kidnapped all these bars. Shit. Although, you could hurry up, we could use your speed here. There's no way I'm running faster than you. Dun, 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 dun. One son of a butt. Nothing here. See a chest up there? It was like 7. No one's over here. We should be able to get a good chunk of change. You're not. Oh. $79. Yeah, you go that way. That's fine. Right, you can in that. Alright, we'll take that. Oh, gas station. Oh, whatever, he probably already took it. Maybe. There's no harm in checking. Lame. The harm in checking was to my soul, dog. My soul is dead now. So I checked. Ah, I finished it. Yes. I don't have a marksman rifle, but we will just play out the rest of this match now. I forgot about beds and chairs. Hello. So much little. Missed it. Now, the good news is that it makes like bear noises, which kind of sound like werewolf noises. In a sense. I can go for it on the way through if no one comes and gets me. Now, Green Gables, I remember something showing up like Green Gables earlier, by the way. Like in a different Halloween map. This is not his first time showing up, right? We've had the Haunted Mansion before? Or am I wrong? I swear we've had it before. What do you think, Chief? Do you remember? Oh? You don't speak English? Really? Hello, Papa. That's see. Oh well, that was a good shotgun off. Get him, dog. My dog was eating your friend. Oh, I think my dog... No, I think my dog just killed his friend. What the heck? Let's see if he's still alive. Oh wait, no, not ready yet. Spectate. Oh no, he's still alive. Darn, got my doggo then. Return to lobby. My doggo fought a valiant fight, but between guns and the storm, he had no chance. We do have 5 battle stars. Let's do that real quick. What are we getting? Where are we at? We're on page 6 of 10. If I get enough more V-Bucks from Battle Pass, because I already have some V-Bucks from buying the X weapon, I might just buy level ups just to get a little further. We might as well. We already have them. It is the stupidest, but it's cute. What does it say, by the way? Hold on. It said... Oh, it doesn't say now. I think it said I want to be picked up as a little kid. Okay. So next, I'm reading a few more paragraphs. I should have got me a water or a coffee. The pine sold him again. He had to squeeze through a few densely gathered ones until it opened to a finer, endless-looking forest. Corey made his way through at a snail's pace, aiming his light every which way for a sign of disturbance, when he stumbled to his hands and knees after tripping over something soft and warm. Grimacing at the new cuts the rocks and pine ground had torn into his hands. Imagining the canvas he had spilled over with the jeans belonging to the legs of his brother, he turned to see another of his brother's belongings and wait instead, a blue duffel bag, the one he'd used for his camera. Ethan had been a camera aficionado since pre-K. Since pre-K, he had taped everything he could with a series of birthday gift camcorders. He quoted nature most of the time, even delved into the paranormal as of late, convinced the ghosts haunted their house. Had he moved further into pornography, like those softcore pictures of classmates Corey had found? If so, the tapes, and there were many in the bag, would have to be destroyed. If anyone caught wind of an underage kid taping himself with another his age, Ethan would be jailed forever. When Corey unzipped the sack, there were two video cameras Corey did not recognize inside instead of his brother's. One side was scorched as if the battery had taken a flame. The other's lens was sliced off at a clean angle. He looked around, concerned ever more for his brother. "Ethan, come on, man. I found your stuff." As he now expected, more silence greeted his calls. Shouldering his brother's bag and stuffing the girl's clothing inside, he zipped the bag before moving on. Despite the lack of any activity or disturbance in the area, everything pointed to his brother moving in this direction. Why were they traveling with an English girl? Were they lost? Had she brought a change of clothes and forgotten her uniform? Was the group in actual trouble? He passed another of those odd trees, not needing to look to verify there were probably others nearby, before he came into a second clearing. This marked the end of the woods. The ground rose from here into a small treeless hill and ran it about out a dozen yards above. The trek up wasn't impossible, but it was steep enough it'd be difficult if he was to try it. Before he started, Corey noticed another quad of those trees, once again along the middle of the clearing. Below it something glowed, shining blue light upon their pale wood. He ran over to and picked up his brother's shiny digital camera. Because it was a digital, it's not even A there, why did I say A? Because it was digital, there was no rewinding. He touched the open glowing screen, hit replay, the number 0, and it started from the start of its recording. He skipped through B-roll footage of their home before it showed the group in their car. There appeared to be 5. His brother was the unseen cameraman. There were 2 other guys with him in the back. Everyone wore dark clothing. Carrying the cameras now in the bag, this time stamp showed the recording started at 2:03 in the afternoon. "Are y'all ready?" his brother asked. The Hispanic kid close to him, Robert if Corey's memory held, grinned while taking Ethan back. "Sure," he said. Then paused. "This isn't some trick. You're not going to have some dick dressed up in a suit waiting out there to scare us, are you?" His brother snorted. "No, my bro would be a good candidate, but no. This is to debunk the Slender Man myth. Charles, give us a rundown of this subject." The third kid with the camera, an overweight white kid, placed his camera in his lap and held up a notebook. "Originally called the Tall Man, or the Man in Black," he started, his words slushy under full cheeks, "or Der Grobman, is an ancient tale that stretches back to Germany, Britain, and Rome. A dark tree-like boogeyman that steals children that wander in the woods. He was as recent as 2009 termed Slender Man by a college kid who created 2 Photoshop pictures of him and started the new craze." The kid stared into his camera. "You guys take over. I have to stop this whole thing from acting up." The camera spun around at a dizzying speed, his brother's young rosy face coming into focus. "We will go in, do what we can to provoke the entity, take shots, and head home before Dad gets pissed and sends Corey after me. Should you find this footage, Corey, I'm likely dead. Run for your life." He laughed into the camera. As it spun back, Corey noticed the girl in the front, the younger red-haired sister of Charles, a good friend of the group. The mystery man was the one driving, a man Corey didn't recognize. He cut to them at the entrance of the park, a metal bar blocking their way, lit up by the car in which the older gentleman sat, in the same dirt lot Corey had left his own car. There hadn't been a car when he parked, so the 4 could have made their way off. Robert held a pair of cutters. Rule 1 to agitating Slindy. You have to trespass into an area that is wounded. Though some said it was better if you break and enter, we've decided to do both. He slipped the chain lock, and it fell to the ground with a loud rattle. Tossing the clippers to the side, he pushed the small bar gateway open with his foot so they could walk in. It cut to a scene of them moving into a fresh clearing. The sun lowered to the horizon, which meant it was about the same time Corey had been entering the woods himself. Halfway across, the girl stopped them. "I have to go." "Samantha," her brother moaned. "Really?" The camera turned the eye of the siblings. Samantha was giving her brother a hard look, then held out her hand to Ethan. "Paper, please." The camera swung around before it was back up, his brother handing the young girl a roll of toilet paper. "I'll be quick. No taping," she said, winking at them. She was in their Catholic school uniform, but none of the boys were, meaning she stayed late at school and was picked up on the way there. The footage cut out of focus, then back. It caught the girl running towards the group, her face drawn into a horrified grin. She was screaming nonsense, her dirty panties in her hands. She couldn't tell if, or he couldn't tell if the stains on the once white panties were mud, shit, or vomit. Nude from the waist down, she pulled out the rest. She pulled pulled off the rest of her clothes. "The fuck?" her brother shouted. "What's wrong with you?" There was a grunting sound Corey thought familiar, and his brother spun to take the woods before them. "Try something out there." The footage rolled and split. There repeated 4 times before it caught itself again. This was a glitch that shouldn't have happened with this digital camera. The thought Corey whispered. There was a quick glance at the young Samantha, nude and on her dirt-caked knees, sobbing in the midst of 4 odd trees in the clearing where he had found her clothing. Before Ethan turned and ran, there was a loud scream from behind them that became distance and turned out into a squelch that became a deafening, defeated silence. I am sorry about my stuttering today. The footage rolled again, and the next scene, though the footage appeared continuous, was deep within the second area of the forest. "My sister," his friend wailed. Robert and Ethan were also sobbing. "What the fuck was that?" Robert yelled, the stress in his voice evident. "That, not fucking Slenderman, that's why." Ethan turned to his friends. He breathed in, trying to calm himself, but the footage still shook with his fear. "We have to move. Get out of here." "To where? Home is back towards that thing." Ethan scanned the forest. "This way. On the other side of the hill is a shop." In the video, it was dark. Corey would be moving through the first set of woods, and soon would come across their friend's dress. Or was it their late friend's dress? Who was stalking them? Who was Samantha's abductor? Why he heard that scream? Okay, we're gonna pause there. Holy cow, my throat. And continue this. What are we doing here? That's not gonna happen. Marksman rifle, huh? So I need a marksman rifle. We're going to head out to the side and try and find... Oh, actually, we can do this. Let's hit the reality tree and then hit the Herald Sanctum. Whatever's furthest away we'll hit first, and then we'll hit the second. So as you see, it's introed. Slenderman is introed as the reason for being out in the forest. Woo! Got bounced. Okay, it looks like Reality Tree will be first. And Herald Sanctum's going to be nice and busy. They're both pretty close, but whatever. But yeah, I introduced Slenderman as the reason for them going out there. These friends are all just fans of the whole creepypasta thing, Slenderman. They gone out there to debunk the idea of Slenderman. Now, that wasn't too... A lot of the Slenderman creepypastas you saw that were not straight on just intro to Slenderman, like the, I forgot what that one group was called. There's that one big YouTube group that did Slenderman videos for a while. But, Why is it not showing up as a ping on the map? Oh, there it is. Ah, here you go. This guy got my attention. In butt. I wasn't gonna give that guy the go just because he dipped, but his friend was annoying me. Eat your mushrooms, Wolfie. No. When it comes to green and gray, that I probably like the green better. Ooh. Okay. We're gonna see how well a werewolf drives the car here. Oh no, we ran over the school children's sign. R.I.P. the school children. Wait, does that mean there's a school inside Tilted Towers? I've never seen a school inside Tilted Towers. So one of the towers? I heard the llama. I'll help. What the hell? I've never had her throw me back like that before. Oh right, I can't build. Come on, lady. Dogs can't get me. she like tear chrome stuff or something? What is that? It's just a design in this area. How many people can come into that area? Marksman rifle, marksman rifle, marksman rifle. Is that sniper rifle? Not the Cobra. Is it the Cobra? A marksman rifle. I guess we'll see here in a minute. Let's go find someone to shoot him with the Cobra. Oh wait, I need this. I need it. Oh fuck, where is it? There it is. Yeah, we have 138. If we hit someone with this Cobra, it counts as a marksman rifle. I think it might, but I'm not positive. Because technically it's a DMR. Yeah, 138, so... I think I dropped something important. I dropped my health. That was smart of me. I hear the shoots of the shooting. Over this way. I heard the shoot from over here. No, the building, I have no idea what it was for. Or I see the building, I thought I don't know what it was. God damn. Where you at? I don't even see you. Oh. Heh, loser. This isn't the tower. Where'd the tower go? It worked, and I finished. Oh, well, that didn't hurt. Okay. Was that not loaded? It wasn't. Sorry, I'm trying to listen to see where this guy is. I know he's probably up here. But I made him waste his med spray, so that's a good thing. And of course, in the last paragraph, as you saw, well, even though I focused on the capability of sexuality in middle school and kind of younger teens, it subverts that expectation of people who are suspicious of them because their older brothers like, yeah, they're probably doing this, but they're not. They're out just having fun. You can't always be suspicious of your teens. Sometimes they're just out there doing kid stuff, older kid stuff, like going out to the woods to be spooked. Oh, you cheaty, sneaky little bastard. That was intense. The one thing about no builds. Less places to hide, cheat. Cheat. I called you Cheed. Why did I call you Cheed? Your new name is Cheed? He's gonna be like, please no. Don't call me that. I now have 5 stars. We'll go ahead and attach that to... Oh, Schools has a actual skin. Yeah, I should go ahead and give her that later. Just nowhere. Weird. Oh, in the locker, there's not much. Not locker. Item shop, there's not much. We do have Seventh the Bees locker, which gives you. I don't also on this one on Chuggus. Oh, I saw that glitch. Annoying. But on Chuggus, I don't remember the hostesses being this detailed looking. I think they may have upped the graphics in it by a bit. I don't remember them being this good looking. Gives you the Horn Striker, Chuggus' backbling, gold wrap I'm not that familiar with. Chapter 2 and 4. Definitely a Midas the one. And for some reason, Krabby. Sorry, she looked disturbed to turn that on. I also get Sanctum, which is our resident vampire, and he has his second form. Let's see if it goes on, which is Crimson with black hair. I have him set on right now in his original form. You can get the zombie ladies, the zombie guys from the soccer team that got infected here on the island. Biz. I'm not entirely familiar with Season 9, Chapter 1, huh? Don't really know her. Kind of a cyberpunkish backbling. Season 9 was Neo season, so that makes sense. The season after the volcano. But before the monster. It was the monster season, technically. Because Season X was then, and then it's the end. And it sounds like it's the end this season, by the way. For this chapter already. Again, no matter what it is next season, whether we have Chapter 3, Season 5 or 6, whatever it comes up next, or we have Chapter 4, Season 1 come up, we will be doing the locker season starting next season. This is cute, though. I kind of like that shirt. I don't know what that is in the middle of her shirt, but I like it. We got Envoy, which is, I believe, an IO member. Was an IO member. IO don't exist no more. Headbigger. For werewolf. Jubilation. I like anything with claws on their hands, by the way, they look cool no matter what emote they're doing. Werewolf says I don't need this shit, you take this. I'm a dog. Tiniest violin. Oh, so this is our new one, by the way. I'm going to attach this to him. As you see, it gives you the claws without it, like, changing the back bling, or the hands. So, you'll get to have these claws, and it looks a little better than the bear will. Though it doesn't give you the roar, I was just thinking of that. You get all this party stuff. Anything done by werewolves is good. And that's all that's really on the item shop. Okay, we're putting the new gloves on you. Let's see something real quick. Alright, so yeah. He does have those things on him. So when I do this to him, it really just adds the claws onto it. It's kind of cool. It allows you to do her claws on anybody. I like that. So now he'll be able to, he won't have the bear growl, but he'll be able to do that. I guess I should say. Okay, oh, I need to read before we head into the next mission. Okay. In the video it was dark. Corey would be moving through the forest of the woods and soon come across the friend's rest. Those are the late friends, we already did that. Yeah. Ethan walked over to Charles and pulled him to his feet. You gotta move, or your sister died for nothing, he said in a voice both firm and compassionate. Chubby Boy nodded, his head in understanding, holding his camera out in his hands in what seemed desperate, tried to make his problem smaller. I broke it, and he had, the lens neck cleanly broken off, missing. It's okay, switch it off. You have the best footage of that thing, so they're going to put it in here. He took it and put it somewhere at his side, the bag Corey now shouldered. You gotta move. The group moved from the clearing towards where he was now. Minutes away, he had been hot on their trail. By now he was picking her clothes up from under the tree. Why hadn't the three of them heard him? Why couldn't he hear himself in the video yelling for his brother? How had the kidnapper avoided him while handling the young girl? The footage continued for a while before Charles spoke. I saw the thing coming, but I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I could only watch. It's as if the thing shut me off. Turned off my mind's ability to do what I needed it to do. Ethan reached over and patted his friend's shoulder, but didn't say a word. Corey was filled with the sense of pride at how mature his brother was being. He felt like a heel for having even suggested that he had been doing something wrong up here, other than trespassing. The video rolled again. It went static, then blazed white before coming back. His brother was speeding through the forest, dashing over bushes and weaving in and out of trees. Oh fuck. I'm so sorry, guys. So sorry. Oh, Corey, I love you. The way his brother spoke sent chills and goosebumps up and down his arm again. He spoke like a dying man. Oh, Corey, I'm so sorry. Fuck me, guys. I'm so sorry. Forgotten in his hurry, Ethan didn't care to where it pointed. There were views of the tree, his pants, the ground, and more trees until he collapsed to the grass in the recollection of tall trees within another clearing. He knelt weeping and coughing, the latter caused by the trauma and forced cross-country sprinting. Corey found himself unable to keep a dry eye watching his little brother. The shot rose to point skyward, and he noticed that Ethan now sat in the same patch of thin trees he now sat in, where he and his camera would part ways. He set the camera on the ground, with care, looking up towards his brother, who knelt looking down at it. There was no night vision. His brother's light was the only reason he could see him. His red eyes, the stream of tears down his face. I'm so sorry, Corey, he whispered, but run. As soon as he whispered this, something came out of the dark, wooden and brindle in color, spiraled and clone like this, ringing up a record of wine chimes, ending in a point. It took his brother in its coil, a toy caught in a slinky, and pulled him up into the darkness as he let out a soft cry of surprise. There was a mushy smacking sound. Something was chewing, and he noted the rain that was dripping onto the camera was red. The thing was eating his little brother. Corey felt the bottom of his stomach fall out of him as he realized that his brother was dying just out of sight. The camera would stay here until it was found, and stopped it. He looked at the front, noting the droplets of blood for the first time upon its lens. Then he glanced around at the 4 trees he now sat under, wide-eyed and understanding for the first time. He heard it grunt, heard it move, and he did the only thing he could think of. Launching Ethan's camera up, Corey sprang to his feet and ran, pushing off the bag to leave it behind, speeding away. He was lucky that the thing paid attention to his projectile before coming after him. But the grunt that sounded afterward was thick with frustration. There was no sound of stomping feet, something that large he felt should have been shaking the ground with each step and crashed through the other trees. He sensed through the silence it was walking, getting on high, horrible knees and closing in on him. He dodged through the woods, believing that the thing had trouble catching his brother while running within them, because of its size. If he could gain ground in the trees and book it across the next clearing, he might make it to his car. Once in the forest, he lost sense of his following. He wasn't sure if it was because it wasn't, or because it looked the part of the tree, but the wood more so than any animal. Another bird took flight. Thought he took much notice as he passed through. He was into the original clearing in a moment. In moments. The 4 other trees were gone, and he hoofed it, his leg burning, his lungs aching. Sure, he was holding his breath, but unable to make himself breathe, remaining on the verge of fainting. Passing in the next leg of the thick forest, his vision faded, grew, and faded again. He never stopped pushing. Though he wondered if he was running or if his mind ran mad, as it stayed still and numb. What if he was below the thing, pulled up in a fetal position, awaiting his death, maybe already being mashed into bits and to be swallowed behind jaws he imagined were as human as its voice with flat grinding teeth. Then hope, a pair of lights in the distance, car lights, not his own but another's. He exited the wood, down the hill, and gaped at who he saw, the driver from the video. He eyeballed and swooped up low to pick up the bolt cutters from the grass, thinking for the man who was standing beside his car. The stranger drew a gun and stopped him in his tracks. "Drop your weapon! I'm an officer of the law! You have just made a federal offense!" Corey gasped in his breath. He found he could cry now he was in company. "You're a cop? What cop sends kids to the middle of the forest at night with no parent supervision? Where the fuck were you?" The guy lowered his weapon. "What? Who are you? What happened?" "They're dead," Corey wailed, dropping the pair of bolt cutters in his aim. The cop's face went ashen. "My Robert?" he whispered. Before he could answer, Corey could feel it. It was upon them, watching this scene play out, dinner and theater. He eyed the cutters he dropped. There was no time to grab them with the thing nearby. It had them. It always had the ones he'd knelt. He booked it, causing Robert's father to aim again. "Stop where you are!" Corey ignored him. In the car, in the fucking car!" He screamed, skirting around the cop. He noticed it was one of those dark undercover cruisers, with hidden lights but no gate in the back, not made to handle prisoner transport. Once inside, Robert's father clambered in the driver's seat. "What's going on? You're Corey, right? Where's Robert? Where's your brother?" The spiral wooden-like appendage slammed into the car's hood, crumpling it, and withdrew. The cop shouted in surprise, pausing for a second before he tried his car. It wouldn't turn over. "What the hell?" The tall, thin trees, shoot them!" Robert's dad drew his thick silver hand cannon again and fired out the inside window at the 4 trees, which appeared at the edge of the forest. One of the 3 shots hit home. The hole spat out something clear. The thing did another of its grunts, followed by a clicking growl. The top of the car began to get beaten in. The windshield exploded. The legs of the beast were all of a sudden on all sides, as if the 4 had sprouted from the pavement, instead of walked over to be on top of them. The ceiling peeled back in a flash and was taken. The cop shot up at something in the darkness, something stinging and sweet, smelling like sap, rained down upon them. Suddenly the officer flew into the air within the grasp of the wooden spiral appendage and then fell, hitting the damaged roof of his cruiser. With an oof, a metal crunch were rolling off onto the dirt road. The thing stumbled to the side, bending at joints too high for Corey to see. It made a deep weaving sound that, mixed with its usual grunt, turning towards the woods, his stumped feet trailing boot-like toes. Its weeping continued until it reached the trees and vanished from sight. There was a crash of brush, then a silence. Corey climbed out of the now roofless vehicle and over the hood to help the cop to his feet. The officer's eyes were red and filling with tears. "That thing took him?" Corey nodded, too full of adrenaline and mired shock to resume his own morning. "Is there any way out of here?" "My car." He pointed his nose to the marked Mercury Cougar. "Should we leave? I saw a video. I know the girl and my brother are dead. It doesn't show your son or his other friend dying. They could still be out there." The cop held his ribs. "I don't have that much firepower. If I didn't kill it." I don't know why I paused there, by the way, sorry. "I don't have that much firepower if I didn't kill it. We need to gather a group, an armed group, before we go looking for them." Placing a hand on Corey's shoulder, panting in pain with a grimace. "I'm sorry about your brother." The image of the thing chewing his brother, with flat teeth he never saw, but knew it had, and a human jaw, was something he thought he'd never get out of his mind. Without a word, he helped the officer to his car. Not sure he'd join the search party, or ever leave home again. And we'll pause right there. There is a little epilogue to this short story, and we'll read that next time we come out. Where are we on time now? About an hour in? An hour and a half in. Cool. As far as the weeklies go, where's our dailies? We're done with them daily. We should have only one. We're going fishing, boys. So as tall trees go, I wanted a monster that was substantial, but still somewhat of a mystery. We never see the tall tree above the tree legs. Even when it makes a second appearance, sorta, in another short, you never really get any kind of indication on what's above its legs, what's in the thick foliage so many feet above you. You never see it bend its knees, you never see anything other than what you're meant to see, which is its trees. I have that one, but I do have this one. Never mind. So, fishing. This looks like a pier. What? Oh. Oh. I attached a chainsaw home because in Fight of the Moon you'll realize that werewolves that this... I'll go ahead and... This is like a small spoiler. Werewolves that want to remain legal in the US system at least have to bind themselves at night with silver, and those chains are meant to resemble the silver chains he binds himself at night. They glow green because they're part of a different set, but yeah. As they're supposed to bind themselves with silver during a full moon. I should have finished that phrase. That helps keep everybody safe. The werewolves in my story have two forms, what we call half-wolf and full-wolf. And in Bite of the Moon, you're introduced to both through Jason. A half-wolf is a wolf that shifts at any time outside of a full moon. They're beastly looking, they're patchy furred, they look like something from The Howling, or something from Being Human, or something from like the American Werewolf in London. They're meant to be ugly, monstrous, not pretty. They're the monstrous werewolves. The full wolf are more like Dire here, look more like wolves, and are fully covered in fur, and are usually seen as pretty things, except for the fact that they're wolves. Now, the difference between a half-wolf and a full wolf is a half-wolf is usually changed on purpose, and they can control their mind while in half-wolf. And the only reason a person wouldn't be able to control his mind while he's half-wolf is if they're insane, what they call fair wolves, where they say half-wolf all the time outside of a full moon, and they're completely just feral. Rabid, not rabid, but, you know, act rabid, I guess. They act like wolves more than they do humans. But most werewolves in half-wolf form are just normal functioning werewolf, humanoid werewolves who, oh my. First thing, eat your fish. That, function in society. When they turn half-wolf, usually either to hunt for fun, or for protection, or the needs. Like they need to travel fast. It's faster travel as a wolf than is a human on legs. Now, full wolves happen during a full moon. A full wolf will transform, and in most cases, the majority of cases, full wolf is completely out of control of itself, just like feral wolves and half-wolf form. There's no one home. The lights are off because it's the beast's in full control. So, during a full moon, in the US legal system, if you want to remain on the good side of that system, you have to chain yourself up in one way or another, or protect yourself from others. Oh, hello. Okay. And that's it. I see it. I see it. We're going 100. I don't know if I have enough money, boots for this. Oh, chicken. Is that all they give nowadays? Is chicken and stuff? Possibly. Oh shit! I didn't even know he was there. Kind of scared me. By the way, I just went from, I think, green to purple. Was it green to purple or blue to purple? Either way, I evolved twice at least. So, white, green, purple, gold? No, blue. So I guess it was already green. So went green, blue, purple. I think I only evolved twice. No, I got myself shields. Maybe a multi-drop task then. Honestly, don't care that I have a crown. I would like crowns added to my crown, but it's not like the most important thing. It'd be cool if you keep the crowns instead of losing them every season, but I understand rewriting the thing. It's just, I'm gonna so little crowns that my crown's always gonna look like one. Yeah, I should have one, there we go. But if I had my ones from my other one, I'd have like 4. How's that work? Okay, so I'll keep fishing until I catch another shield fish and drop the, I could go do this and get enough damage to where I need more shield fish. That'll work too. Hunting we will go, hunting we will go. Come on, shoot me. Thank you. A little more? Okay, that's enough. Oh, you didn't even damage my shields. Lame. Okay, original plan. Keep fishing until I find enough. Until I get another shellfish. Take some damage of my shield and eat it. That should give me 20 more, which should finish the mission actually. There it is. Now we need to find people. Nope, I'll do that. Yeah, I like it. It works. So they give us claw hand tools that'll be best. Yo, Fortnite, release claw hand tools so we can do like this, but with just our hands. Pay for it. Attach your growl to it like you did the bear hands. I would pay for it. Like a $300 attached tool or something. A $300. Oh my god, no, 300 V-Bucks. And somebody shoot me so I can eat this fish. I think fire hurts shield, right? I guess we can try. Nope. Hello? Anybody home? Somebody please hit me. Oh, I didn't know you could actually damage walls doing that. Somebody's got a purple fruit. Time to go to the doctor. Might as well just heal up my life. That's a lar. No, thank you. Here's what I got. Shoot them in the face of the prime, and if they survive that, I'll just get them with this. Besides, I'm not trying to win, I'm trying to get someone to shoot so I can eat the darn fish. And you lose at least 20 shield to work. 15 shield technically, but you know. Just to be safe, 20. You serious? Nope, it's not that. The fish gone. I think the fish is gone. I was looking to see if there's a fish thing up here. I don't. Aww. All I want for Christmas is a piece of fish. What do you got? Oh, freak. Scared the crap out of me. Good job, Goku. And he got the prime I just unlocked. Perfect timing. Okay, so to the end of this is the end of the tall trees now. This will be the last part of this shovel reading. Officer Sanchez spent weeks looking for his son and his chubby friend. Aside from the bag of camera equipment and the girl's clothing, there were no signs of the boys. Or the tree monster. The group that came to search with him never found Ethan's camera, and the memories of the other two Cameras found mine in the canvas bag and an empty field were fried. The other tapes, the discs were unrelated videos of the boy's home, some of them having to do with the paranormal, which seemed to so tame after his experience with the forest creature. Meanwhile, he lost contact with Corey, whose father said had become more and more paranoid the past week. Now there was no answer to calls to the house. He pulled up to the small house not too far from a different set of woods itself, though in Newtown, far enough from the hill to give it an impression of safety. His flashers lit up the nearby trees and houses, where he noted the front window with its frame torn out. Eyeing the land, he saw no signs of out of the ordinary trees. A live oak woodland spread across the house, and pink flowering crepe myrtle were planted in the garden. Entering the residence, though the unlocked door, he was stopped by what he saw. Writing in black marker all around the walls, the writings of a madman. The majority of it was the trees, or watch the trees. As prominent were the tall trees, the thin trees, its legs bent up so high. In the center, likely written last, yet fixed point of the rest, was a small sentence. This here. The trees are here. I'm so sorry, brother, my father, forgive me. The trees are here. And finished with a giant run, no line with wide scribbled in the same shape as the thing's appendage, with an arrow pointing at the end, appearing to be a demon's spell. Fear gripped Officer Sanchez. He had left his assault rifle in the trunk of his new cruiser. The end. That is the end of Tall Trees. Tall Trees is one of my favorite writings that I've ever written. It really is. I just like it. I like the idea of effectively using creepypasta, of making my own creepypasta. I like the monster, the tall tree. I like that he's still a mystery in all my writings. It is one of my favorite things I've written. It was dark, it was graphic without being overtly graphic, and it was fun. It was my foray into writing a little more mature items. The idea of sexuality, sex, loss, fear, horror, sadness, all those mixed in together. With that, we are done with the weeklies. No, we still do the fish, so back to fishing. Actually, I think that song once got me a copyright on YouTube because it was stupid. What time are we with that one long-ass short? Yeah, 1 hour, about 2 hours. So we'll do at least one more short. The next short, I think, is about the same... length. Now, the next short, I'm going to rate it all. And the reason is that there's almost no mention of sex in this one, but it is highly graphic in gore ways. So if you are sensitive to death, pain, gore, destruction, fear, all wrapped up into one, do so. The next one we're going to be reading is called The Harvest Moon, and if that isn't any indication, it's my first published Where feature. But when I started writing this book, I wrote it for a, the original copy of it was for 100-word long competition, and if you were one of the 10 they chose or something like that, you get published in their magazine or whatever writing thing they were doing. I wasn't one of the 10. I was told it was very good, but you weren't one of the chosen. So I extended it and expanded it and rewrote it to have more of a substantial story than the original did. It have a lot more than 100 words to it. With that, it became The Harvest Moon. You know what? Well, I knew. Same exact place as last time. Because why not? Werewolf goes skydiving. With the expansion, well, with the 100 words, it was more or less prose, sort of like the second story I read last time. But in this version with the expansion, it's more a regular short story. With some of the prose is still there. Actually, the prose is still there, but it's been expanded and spread around this more solid story. I'll tell you one thing, it's hard to write a story in 100 words. I like to write it. Frick. Someone's coming over here to this stupid boat. They're running away from the boat. The boat is mine, I guess. I'll get on here, I'll do what I must. I'll grab some stuff. I cannot... Oh no, I do... No, I can't shield up. Yeah, I thought I was done with the shield. Am I not done with the shield? Shield fish? No shield fish. 17, but no thank you. Nice. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Blue chrome. And an assault rifle. And with that, we'll head back downstairs. I think that's everything we do here. Grab this and go fishing. And if the guy leaves me alone, I'll leave him alone. However, if they're shooting at me, I have a problem. Really? Is it? What are you gonna give me? What is blue floppy? Oh, oh, is this a part 2 on gaining shields? Is that what this is? No, it doesn't say so. I could have swore we finished Outlast, but okay. Offer. Did I win? Did not win. He's still ahead of me. They're 95. One more fish and we should be able to do it. That is not a fish. Oh, that was terrible. That worked. Rare purple jellyfish. And I am number 1 too. I am my team. That we are done with our weeklies, right? It's too bad this can't work because I still have 1 weekly to go. Whiplash. Oh my god, I had to find a whiplash. Not entirely sure where whiplashes are, but we do have someone over here. I don't know if I talked to them yet. Oh, we have not. It's Kit. Today I did parkour on my next suit, and it was awesome. Oh, hell yes, we'll hire Kit. Kit with us. Kit. Dance, Kit. Another dancer. There he goes. We need to find a car, Kit. And a dog. Wait, was I supposed to hurt? Oh no, that was the marksman, that's right. Is that what I think it is? It is indeed a whiplash. We will be driving. Sorry, Kit. We'll see you later. Well, this might hurt. $500 for the paint. $700. You're gonna make it. I don't know if I can get inside. I only have one key anyway. Never mind. I just scared the shite out of me. Man, I could have gotten with the sniper. I didn't think about it. We ran into that. Okay, with that, we will start the Harvest Moon. Where are we at on top? Not past 4, right? Not past 3? We're at 2, so we're good. With 2, if we were past 3, I'd probably been gone. How fast? We have 6 now. We could do this one. Pickups, holy cow. Daily, we need to collect animals sliding or damage people. I don't know if we do over DMR if we can grab one. What? Break that. We will go into Team Rumble. Yo. Oh, right. Let me turn that off. Okay, voice chat should be off then. I like that little voice chat feature right there. It's so easier. Oh, what am I doing? I need to start reading first. So like last time, since this is a short, it doesn't really come with breaks. I will break it myself when I feel like I need a break. The Harvest Moon, the bite, the twist, the fight for freedom. It was the girl's last chance at escape. My last chance as I fled away from the inhuman howler with the bloody bitten finger. Through the dark woods whose shadows were thickened by a bright harvest moon, I raced to the edge of the world, of California of my life. My pulse beat at my ears. I couldn't confront such a beast of a man, he who had no mind to reason with. The only choice given was one last escape. I dove, legs straight, should have pinched my nose or held a hand over my mouth, but my arms flailed in panic as my pink wool sweater, one over my black nightshirt, flapped around my blonde hair, pulling the hair pulled up and curled clockwise into a bun for the night. My fall felt like forever. Seconds turned to minutes, minutes turned to hours. Though I winced for the incoming impact, I watched the orange-white cliff face crawl by me. It was as if the sweater pulled up by my fall to flap against my head insisted we were moving faster than we were. My feet hit first and the hardest, slapping against surface tension, rebounding my legs so I was in a sitting position when my ass hit, soaking my black Angry Bird Christmas pajamas in the salty bay. I had a moment to mourn my favorite pair of nightwear before I was shocked back into reality by my breasts smacking into the chilled water, pulling the loose sweater around me and drenching the t-shirt underneath. A giant wave rolled over me and pushed me towards the cliff, stifling my gasp. I was in the wrong place to go cliff diving. My family's property rested on a cliffside that was always beat by the ocean below. Despite being stories above sea level, a good storm could bring those waves up and into our yard. Rolling under the wave, I came up only feet from the wall, gasping for air and looking back to see another for me. Foamy water being pulled back and up into the surging head. The roar that bounced off the cliffside was deafening, a chaotic war trumpet sounding my imminent death. At least I hadn't ended up like my mother, her bleeding entrails strewn over the living room's coffee table, a long wooden thing with a cherry oak finish, and over her lap, legs that were still sitting in her favorite old white, ugly 1980s recliner. I had no idea where her torso had gone to. By the time I had come upon her running had become a priority, too busy even to mourn. The roaring became louder, and I braced myself, caught floating by the wave. It picked me up and pulled me into its foam-covered head, just in time to slam me against the wall with such force my left shoulder bone slapped against it, making an ugly sound of porcelain being dropped on the thin, carpeted floor. The swell subsided. I dropped under for a moment, my left shoulder throbbing, watching another small wave roll over me. From under it looked like a big raft of saran tumbling through the water. The new wave passed, and I came to the surface, gasping once more. My lungs burned in the chilled fall ocean, and for the first time since the dive, I realized how chilly it was. My body trembled as if I had dived into ice. A yard further than the last another formed. I had to act. I could try and find my way out and risk that thing again, or drown right here after being beaten to death upon the freezing cliffside. Maybe a quick end at the hands of a monster might be a reprise from the long death of drowning on the ocean floor. I turned away from the approaching monster of the sea, when I had only moments, to put my numbing hands upon the cool rock face while smaller, insignificant waves dropped by me, causing me to bob. Cursing that my hands had lost sensation, but my shoulders still throbbed, I pushed myself to the left, heading what I thought to be north or northeast since the cliffside curved. Okay, take a pause there. And head in. Our job is to get a DMR. And... oh, it's milestones. My job is to get a DMR and damage people with it. If we can't get the DMR, we're going to try and slide into people and see if that's been fixed. Because this is our last weekly we haven't finished. Fortnite, either pass it or, stop. Now, to tell you the truth, most of that was in the prose. I don't think I described her mom's death scene as, or in the 100-word story. I don't think I described her mom's death scene in such detail. But it was there, as was the running, and, well, the fact that she was dead was there, and the jump off the cliff. I do believe I ended the entirety of the 100-word at the dive off the cliff. It's sort of a continuation to the story. Because honestly, the fight against a monster, the run away from it, the death, whatever happens afterwards, would take way too many words to describe, because you have to describe it. The idea was not to delve into too much descriptors, because that would take you over 100. But I did expend it there. And also, I didn't want you to see the creature until we needed to. And I didn't want you to. I didn't want her to describe it till we got to the point where you need to see the creature. I should say. Like if this was a movie, you'd see her running. You might have a flash. You might have a flash of her coming out of the house and seeing her mom all over the place. But you wouldn't see the creature. You might hear the creature in the background, but you wouldn't see the creature. And you just get her running mostly. The first threat you have to deal with as a viewer would be the sea. We're gonna drop straight down to Kame House area. No. We'll drop down to the visitor's place. I guess it's not the visitor's place anymore. We did have the crime syndicate, the peace crime syndicate, whatever the name is, to take it up. And oh, shite. Hello. I guess we're going in the storm. Better, but now we need looking for the Cobra. Cobra. Please give me a Cobra. 200. No, 200 damage. I'm sorry. I thought I read the goal at 200. I was like, what the frick? Triple prime when he killed your lore. Straight that off that. So what help? Yeah, you know what? Let's say that. I'm not a big fan of the heavy AK or whatever that is. Finger AK this season. It's been completely overshadowed by better things. Drama here? Another? I heard another one. Oh wait, what kind of no weapon? I just ignore. That was a sidearm pistol. My brain just completely blanked out what I got there. Come back this way. Oh my god. Give me a freaking Cobra. Let's look at this. I'm dead. Oh, freaking hell. Cobra. I can die in happiness. As will be respawned. Oh. Nice, we're having issues. Okay. This thing always click. Oh, freaking hell. I don't think I did that. Yeah. I know you down there. Hey, eliminate. Oh, well, shit. There goes our missions. I forgot that was one of them. Now we're just playing for fun. So with that, milestone. Which opponents? I'm assuming that wasn't ours we're shooting at, by the way. I have no idea. How much beating can this damn thing take? What was that tiny little splash? Oh, right. Did I reload this? Yeah, no, it's just a prevention for a little extra. Kind of like a weird brown, or it's just my eyes. Damn. I don't have 22 bullets left. I have a sneaker rifle. Oh, I'm out of bullets. He says immaturely. Oh, I'm out of bullets. Got blasted. Oh well, I gotta level up. Wait, I got a weekly quest? What the hell? Did they count my slides finally? I didn't hit anybody, did I? Damn. Nice. Team Rumble might just still be my favorite. Chaos. It wouldn't let me land on the balloon. Okay, we return the loot and then we'll continue to do things. I'll read some more of the Harvest Moon. The Harvest Moon will likely be our last read of the evening. I know that's only 2 stories, but one of them was pretty long. But first, Battle Pass, so you now have 5. I have a 3 I can take care of, or a 4. We'll take care of the 4 first. I'll leave 1, which is 6, so then we take care of 3. Will become 3, and then 5 after that will get us 7. Also, what the absolute frick am I looking at? These rabbits spewing up smoke? Okay, look at that, my lady. They are exactly what I thought. Token smoking rabbits. With that, we will go on to... We'll continue with the damage performance, but I'll also want to keep Team Rumble from here. Deep in concentration, I hadn't noticed how loud the roar of the wave had become until it lifted me, allowing me only a yelp before it slammed my face into the rock wall, bending my neck backwards in half. I don't remember going under, coming back up, and I had no memories of swimming ashore. I woke up on pea-sized sand-colored gravel that wasn't sand, which acted as the beach far below my house, with a gasp followed by a bucket full of water escaping my gullet. Unable to orientate myself, my body exhausted and chilled, my shoulders swelling with every heartbeat, I flipped myself over, the gravel clinging to my wet shirt, and slipped off my sweatshirt, tossing it aside. It may have been my favorite, but the water had ruined it, and only worked to weigh me down. With my numb hands and my screaming shoulders matched by my massacred face, I pushed myself to my knees, pressing my palms to my legs to balance myself to try and stand. There was a scruffing sound to my left, amongst the brush. I was in a clearing that marked a road paved through the grass by heavy vehicle use. Boaters that cast off for the day of fishing. And I was in plain view. Sorry, hold on. I was in a clearing that marked a road paved through the grass by heavy vehicle use for boaters that cast off for a day of fishing. That's written better than I read it. And I was in plain view. Hoping what I had happened upon was nothing more than a vicious boar. I waited. I mean, boars might not attack you if you stood still, not posing a threat. But then it grunted. Not the snubbled grunt of a pig, but that semi-human vocalization of the beast from above. How had it made its way here so quick? I ran, not getting much more than a limping trot from my legs, trying to bottle the scream that swelled at the bottom of my throat as the thing crashed through the bushes and once again gave chase. My mind wondered how human it was. Would it be smart enough to make the same mistake again? In the grips of panic, I had bitten its finger, tasted its own sewage-smelling flesh, and fled as it had stood in stunned silence. I slipped to my hands but kept my feet. A scream bubbled past my lips into a strangled cry I hoped to carry to someone near. Somebody with a weapon. Righting myself in a hurry, I set out in a straight line up the incline across the grass that rose in height around me. Soon it was rushing my thighs, tickling as we had my family charm had done so many times. But I had no joy left in me to tickle out. The monstrosity pounding through the brush on my heels, huffing and grunting. Then there was pavement. So sudden I tripped over my own bare feet, and sprawling to my side, the rocky road tearing at the right of my face and my breasts. A black claw came from nowhere and slashed at my exposed stomach. I screamed. The scream from my lips was horrible, of such animalistic terror that for a moment the thing that had given chase ran to the other side of the road, frightened by its own prey. Watching it, in horror and revulsion, I continued to screech, unable to quit. I just closed my manager, Dan. The thing was not a wolf, nor a werewolf you'd expect to see in the movies, like that B-rate cut flick, The Howling. And we will pause it there. We'll pause the pause there, and continue to play here. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to play Team Rumble just for fun. Why Team Rumble? It's no, no stress. No need to win. No need to lose. No worry about any of that. Just get in, shoot a bunch of people, grab what you can, and this time I don't have to worry about weapons. And wait, I said I was done with my weeklies. I am done with my weeklies. How did that work? I did not slide into anybody. I was sliding and shooting at the same time when that counted as sliding into somebody. So if you are stuck on the sliding, slide and shoot somebody and see if that works. If that works, please let me know either on Twitter, Facebook, here live on Twitch, or on YouTube down below. Because I really need to see if that works. Because I was stuck on that mission for over a few weeks now, playing both on and off the stream, and I could not hit it. I mean, I was sitting here in both regular and Team Rumble mode, hitting people while in matches out here on the island. No, I do it on the island just for fun. Look, the island has a good hill. Oh, what the hell? Why are you not kicking? But yeah, I had issue with kicking before. Going to the ship. When the ship leaves for some donuts. Wolf's gonna come in and be like, "Where are my donuts?" Okay, a prime, that's better than that. I don't really care about that. Eh. That I'll do. You know what? Yeah. I'll go blue or higher on prime. Grab that for the hell of it for now. The point is now to just load up on shit I want to play with. What? No. Not so good with us. Nah. Bullets. Is it below me? What the frick? What did I hear? Oh, right, there's that one edge off this side you can go on. I forgot about that. There's also ones over there. You get upstairs, we can tell. I'm assuming you can't just open these for the hell of it, yeah. Well, opening those for the hell of it. Well then, I didn't mean to do that. Oh well. We have a DMR, this and this. We're okay on the loadout. Okay. Head down here and see what we can get. This is right here. So Graham Gables, if you haven't seen it yet, I think we've been on here once with it, twice maybe, is the new Halloween place. It's replaced the... Hello, they have pumpkins. Do you need the pumpkins? Oh, okay. Anyway, it replaced... the... Shifty Shafts and is a haunted mansion of sorts. It's kind of just a plain haunted mansion. I did notice that while people are saying it might be an Easter egg, because if I can find it here, I'll show you. That there's a clock with an upside down face. I don't know if all of them have it. Just one of them. But some people are saying it's Stranger Things Easter eggs, and maybe reference to another Stranger Things crossover. Yep, it's upside down. See, the 12 is on the bottom, and the 6 is at the top. It's technically 30 past midnight. Grabbing all the AXP I can. Come on. Oh, I died. He falls to the floor as a rift from the What the hell was that? No, I don't build fast. It's all chaos building. But I think I know how I can hotel. Without being any good at hoteling, you can just climb things now. You can climb and launch yourself in this mode. It's hilarious. Look, he's gonna think I'm a hotel builder. Oh, I forgot about that. Damn. A hotel. Yeah, I'm far up. What the freak is going on here? Oh, he's behind me. Yeah, that's the good thing about this, though. It's a no care, no shield. What the frick was that? What was that manly sounding bok bagok? I heard that, right? Yeah. I was hoping to get that guy with the rock. My ears are bleeding from that one. Dude, my favorite place. Silver Wolf in the tree on the nervous to see me up here. I'm so camouflaged. Oh, the hell. Damn, I suck with the ZMR, by the way. I swear the other DMR was a little better aiming. Why do I hear wind moving? I will show him. Oh! The sight. My wolf brains are all over that tree. I don't know if I got that this season. I guess I did. I didn't see anything pop up. Ooh, and I got the kill shot. And a cool look up from down from for that emote. Give you like 5,000 XP for kill shot. Just saying. Oh no, it's 1K. I was like, you get 20,000 experience from that, or no? Hmm. Hmm. Actually, I have an idea. We're going to go into creative. And read the rest of this story here. That way, because the time's getting kind of on, yeah, 2:30. We can finish the story, and that way I can actually earn the 2,000, 21,000, I guess. I'm sitting in here. Yeah, Facebook, I'll put another ad out when I can afford it. Sorry, I'm reading some stuff here. I got some text and stuff. And spam, yay for spam. And a missed call from spam risk. Yay for a missed call from spam risk. Okay, so this is going to be the last section of. We're going to read the last part of this. First, just to see where we're. We're still in the Bloodborne looking city, which kind of fit in because there were technically werewolves in the Bloodborne city. And not climb, I guess climbing isn't possible. So yeah, that it was. You go climbing? I swear you could climb in this city. Still parkour. Wow. I think it's a run. So running in the parkour jumping is allowed. Just not actually parkour. Oh, I'm going to get somewhere I'm not supposed to be. Whether or not you want to let me. Oh, mother. Okay, anyway. Staring at this house from Bloodborne, or actually this cathedral because it looks cool. It'll be cool if it ends up being my screenshot. So we just finished off. She met the beasts. Now we're gonna travel. The thing was not wolf or nor werewolf you'd often see in movies like that B-rate cut like the Howling. It was more ape than anything, with slick back brown fur that bunched around its head and hung around his body with fashion in its canine appearance. His hands were black as night, as black as the 3-inch claws on all 5 fingers. His feet were much the same as with an opposable thumb. His horrible maw was a black, shining flesh, like the color of the inner lips of dogs, almost as if some dog had its face turned inside out. It was long and filled with spaced razor-sharp teeth that snared at me, reminding me more of a baboon than any other animal. I thanked the fates that didn't have a baboon's ass. Don't think I could enter the afterlife with my head held high, knowing that the thing which had killed me had a bright red bubble butt. My screams were choked off by fear mixed with exhaustion, and the thing padded carefully towards me. Looking away from it, down to my exposed belly, my face twisted in wonder and disgust at what I saw. Red liquid pooled around me, and red, warm ribbed tubing sung out from a small incision in the U over my lap. Blood. I realized the red liquid was in my blood, leaking out onto the pavement. And the tubing? The realization struck me with a numbing sensation. Were my intestines. The only thing my mind could think to do was reach my numb hands. My left arm scraped and bleeding by my latest fall, down and gripped the tubing, pushing it back in. The thing slid in my stomach. The tube-like organs made a nauseating, squelching sound as I forced it in. The moment of dizziness passed, but I held my hands firm upon my abdomen, meaning to keep my insides within myself. I looked up to see the monster a foot from me, studying my progress. It raised its hands in the air and swung its big black claws from side to side, a cheering spectator. It uttered a short guttural bark, gnashing its teeth together. After settling, the creature kneeled on one leg, an awful human movement, and pushed on my hand, which held my abdomen close. Until then, the wound hadn't hurt. It was the pressure, but at that pressure, something inside me nodded. I gasped, my back arching as something cold that wasn't playing flew through every nerve ending in my body. The sensation subsided. I felt shit slide out of me into my favorite pajamas. Unable to keep myself from weeping, the thing turned its head towards my face at the sound. It prodded my cheeks, mixing blood with my tears. Then it prodded at my breasts, which I was thankful were still covered, not able to let go to fend off the ape thing's harassment without risking everything sliding out again. I tried to concentrate on anything other than the ape, which was molesting my chest. All that came to my mind was a warm load sitting in my pants. I felt a stifled sob, which made the ape thing jump to its feet and bark in anger. It swung its claw at my eyes, but backed away when light flooded us both, causing it to pause and cover its eyes with its blood-coated hand. I didn't have the pleasure. Blinking away the sudden blindness, I recognized my neighbor's truck, a light blue mid-19 two-door Chevy used for logging during the fall and winter years. Tom, my 6 feet, dark-haired, a year older than me and handsome in a country bumpkin way neighbor, climbed out of the driver's seat, his big white cowboy hat upon his head, a pump-action shotgun in both hands. I assumed primed and ready. He was my knight in shining armor, or cowboy attire. If I survived the night, I would marry that man. But he didn't open fire. The thing never charged him, or ran away in fear. The two of them stared at each other, the ape thing's eyes respectful, if not fearful, of my neighbor, whose eyes looked back at the creature full of sorrow and fury, the eyes of a chastising parent. "Charlie, you damn fool! Get in the truck!" he hissed through his teeth, his mouth setting in a happy grimness. I caught that he had named the thing. The thing's name had been Charlie, the name of his brother. To the surprise of the crowd of friends and family I had loosely around me, the thing listened to Tom, made its way to the open passenger door, and buckled up so it could sit and watch the scene. "You're not looking too hot there, Nicky," Tom said, planting a cowboy boot on each side of my body. He was now standing over me, as if he would sit upon my chest. His nose wrinkled. "Don't smell so wonderful either, but good things will do that." "Tom," I whispered, barely aware that I was crying once again. I gasped as the cold metal twin-barrel shotgun pressed hard into my cheekbone. My hands let go of my open midsection to grip onto the double barrel, trying to wrestle with it, but he held strong, and my palms were slick with blood. He looked down as the loop of intestines flopped out with a wet slurp. Tom laughed. "That almost sounded like a fart. I've never been able to finish my little brother's kills before. He usually ravages them to death. I think a bullet might leave too much evidence." He winced at the word evidence, and leaned up to put aside his shotgun. He set back to squat onto my hips, turning to face me. I gasped again, and another squelching sound came from my bottom as he gripped the rib tubing with both hands. "Ha ha!" It was a loud and obnoxious laugh. "That was a fart. Did you shoot yourself?" Without waiting for an answer, he pulled a length of myself out like he was unwinding a rope. I shook and groaned at the sensation of it sliding out of the tear, creating an empty, cooling cavern within my room. Walking in a squat up and above my head, with it in his hands, there was a wet plop above my head. His hands jerked my hair as he lifted my head up, and then placed it back down. There was now something moist and warm upon my neck. I knew what it was. I saw what he was about to do, but I couldn't fight him. My arms no longer worked. "Tom, no," I cried, tears and snot running down the side of my cheeks, the most normal thing in the world, the only normalcy I had left. "Tom, no, I'd like to. I won't tell. Promise I won't ever tell." He came back to place his feet where they had been before, plopping his skinny ass on my chest, pushing the air out of me, looking at me with the same curious expression his apparent ferret brother had given me a moment ago. "Sorry, babe. It's way too late. This orange move, well, it fucks everything." He placed his hands to the sides of my head. Though it had been pulled out by at least 3 feet, I still felt them with my intestines. The tube was warm and moist, slimy with blood and other internal juices when he wrapped it around my neck like some awful scarf. I thought to thank him for the warmth against the chill, but I didn't have the breath. Having prayed back in since he sat on me, knowing what he was planning, I wanted him to expedite my death as much as possible. I pat his hands, something I found comfortable. They were strong, rough from field work like my dad's, and covered in hair, tense with pressure as he pulled hard on my insides wrapped around my outsides. First thing to go was my hearing. In one moment I heard Tom grunting. The wind whispered through the grass, the growl of their used old beater. Even the ocean, which had almost taken me moments ago, splashing against the near cliffside. Then I heard nothing over that odd whining, the humming of a mosquito in my head. Then fuzz crept into my eyes. Some say you see stars when you start to pass out. I thought it was less stars and more of the fuzzy white noise of cable TVs my kid if the channel had tuned received no signal. Static filled my vision, replacing Tom in the terrible world. True darkness ate away from the sides of the static. Last to go was the sensation of myself wrapped around my neck. The end. Now, you might see a theme here. While the violence or other things vary from story to story, and while stories each vary in telling, they tend to end kind of dark in here. We've been through Creepy Death, which had several deaths in it, including the teammate of the CSI up in West Creek. We had Tall Trees, where pretty much everybody but the cop met a bad fate, and we don't know his actual fate. We have the Pro's story, Bloodletting, which is ends poorly for the main character. It was going to end poorly anyway. There's very little chance he was going to survive. And you can see through all the stories that they have not the happiest of endings. And that is part of the Dead End series. That's why it's called the Dead End series. My career at a dead end inspired me to create stories that have dead ends. Not all of them end at dead ends. Not all of them end with nobody surviving and absolutely no good happening, but a lot of them do, if not most of them do. I do believe we have a few more stories here, but we won't do that today. We're going to call it a day because I have other work to do. Yeah. I hope you like them. I hope the dark and horror is what's supposed to be. It's supposed to be dark. It's supposed to be horror. It's not supposed to be some goody, flashy, golden ending for everybody. The ending is as they are. They're how I felt was right, and in most cases, they're bad endings. And that is part of the Dead End series. That's why I'm not sure if the next series will be Dead Ends, because I'm not sure if they'll be that dark and in that way. But if they do end up being that dark and end in such a way, then yes, they will be part of the Dead End series. Well, I guess I can't go swimming or fucking. That said, that'll be our end for the day. And that is not the end of the first Dead Ends. We have... This Hunters will be next. And after the Hunters, we have... The Hunters is a short story, and it's pretty short. After that, we have Looped, which is about the same size. Then we have The Barking, which is a longer short story, and the Sequel, which is a novella, technically. Sequel will be probably the longest thing on this list. So we have 4 more stories to go through. We made it through Tall Trees and Harvest Moon today, because Tall Trees is pretty lengthy. So the next time we come in, hopefully whenever they give us more missions, we'll be doing the Hunters, and we'll probably do Hunters and Looped, and we may get to Barking. I'll try to do Hunters and Looped and Barking all in one go, because Sequel is going to take a while too. Then after that, we'll get into Dead Ends 2. Out of that list, we have at least 2 that may end a little less dark than normal. But yeah, that is the kind of theme of these stories, alright? At least in the Dead End series, not in my actual novels. But I hope you like it. I hope you like my writing. I hope if you enjoy what you're hearing here, instead of leaving me a tip, which is fine, I like tips, pay for my coffee, go on to your local store, your local ebook store, and purchase my new book, and it'll cost you $5. It's about it's 100,000 words long, so several hundred pages, just depending on your e-reader and size of the words. It's called Bite of the Moon by Joshua Winters. If you like werewolves, I recommend it because it is a book I wrote. And if you like it, tell me about it. Let me know. I hope you'll have a good day. As far as the next schedule goes, actually before I leave, I have a fairly crappy schedule again this week. Oh, that's my thing down there making noises. So, hello, White Walnut. I have a fairly crappy schedule again. Go ahead and reload the schedule as soon as I find it. I actually was supposed to work today, but I traded with someone who needed a trade off so I get more hours. So instead of working today, we work tomorrow for 8 hours, whereas I was going to work for today for all of 6 hours. So I extended today 2 hours into it. Hopefully he remembers he works today since he's the one that wanted to trade. So, oh, that's what I needed. Got 2,000. We're done with that now, right? That daily quest. No? Yeah, almost. But let's see, you get 12,000 per hour just sitting here or something. So Wednesday will likely stream a little. Thursday will probably be a no. I'm also going to write some of these. Wednesday we'll stream sometime during the day. It probably won't be Fortnite unless they publish some goddamn story missions. Thursday's a no, and Friday and a Saturday are likely no's. But Wednesday we'll stream something. The next week, schedule again. Probably stream Monday, Wednesday again, unless something happens. If y'all want to help me with the bills, you'll buy my book. You'll help me with the bills, and then spread it to your friends, and then we can all be happy. Yeah, I'll get a book to read. I get some law to eat food and take care of my son, and maybe one day get my mother retired. But with that, we will call it a day, and I'll see y'all Wednesday. I hope y'all have a good day, and peace and out, guys.